welcome to Health Impact Digital Health Talks. This is Megan Antonelli, and I'm here with my friend, Janae Sharp. Hi, Janae.
Hi, Megan. Thrilled to be here today. We get to talk about 5 good things, and it's our last episode of the year.
It is, and what a year it's been.
There have been some things that are pretty shocking this year.
There have. I mean, it does feel a little like healthcare is under attack. We've had a number of security breaches, a number of, that was sort of I feel like we've been sandwiched by these, and, it's, but there are good things.
There have been some of the biggest cybersecurity breaches and breaching, physical safety. We've had a CEO of an insurance company be murdered, and people have a lot of emotions. Emotions are high right now in healthcare. So I want to,
of course, and we've had an election too, and an assassination attempt on a president, which, while not entirely healthcare related, certainly is, speaks to the mental health of this country and where we're at. But none of these are good things, and people continue to work in healthcare doing good things. And there has been some bright spots and some good things, a lot of healthcare is about the silver linings. I think we've been talking about the silver linings that come from the pandemic for a long time. And obviously that this sort of transformation and growth in technology and adoption has been a silver lining of the pandemic. And there's some silver linings to the learnings of what we're seeing here. And
with all the hard things that have happened, it's important to acknowledge that people have a lot of emotions right now. People have been through a lot this year, but we've also seen forward momentum in advocacy and in digital health that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful.
And one of the silver linings I talked about with Rob Seabock today, from the Change Healthcare breach and the, those continuous attacks on healthcare, there is a heightened attention and therefore significant innovation around cybersecurity. And we're also seeing the attention being placed where it needs to be from a regulatory standpoint. So I think one interesting thing that's come out recently, at least in the last second half of the year, was around New York State's new hospital cybersecurity regulations. So not usually do I think regulations are the best things in healthcare. We have a lot of them, but something like there should be a CISO at a health system seems like a right effort, and right attention placed in an important area. And, as I discussed with him, some of the things that are being done, and that it is now, the boards are paying attention, the staff is paying attention. And so many of the breaches happen because people say, oh, it's not my problem. Let the IT guys deal with it. And now everybody understands it is their problem. It is something that we have to, address. And so, cybersecurity rules, better attention to that, more innovation is definitely a good thing that is coming out of 2024.
Right. So that can be our number one thing, that New York passed a law where they have a 72-hour reporting window for cybersecurity incidents, and notifications matter. You have to do these things fast. One of the biggest problems with the Change Healthcare breach was how long it took to get people access. And some of that was just that not everybody had cybersecurity protocol in place. So good job for that.
Yes. And there's a lot of work to be done, but I know that there's a lot of good people working on it. So
for our second good thing, I think we should talk about one of our favorite topics, GLP-1s.
Oh, my favorite.
This is one of our favorite topics. Us and yoga moms around the world can agree that this is revolutionary, right?
Sure.
Recently, I read an article about how obesity rates in the US might be going down.
Yeah. I was actually surprised to see it was a small percentage in which they're going down, but I suppose that is the percentage of folks who are getting access to these drugs, at a high rate. But it is, 1% to 2%, I think. I saw John Brownstein was on ABC News talking about it.
We love him. We love John Brownstein speaking. The dog's on board. Yeah.
Yes. And I think that there is, again, a heightened understanding. I think there's a certain, with everything, there are some unintended consequences. There's some things that, we still have to work out as a society in dealing with, how we view obesity and how we treat obesity. But science has gotten to a place where it's manageable. And these drugs do not come without side effects. They have them and they have to be managed, and people have to understand that. But there are certainly, it is a bright spot in terms of, healthcare solving a problem. I mean,
Right.
I'm not going to go so far to say that we've cured obesity, but it seems possible,
Right.
and so that is an incredible advancement in science. And now it's about the healthcare system fixing itself so that patients get access to this medicine,
Right.
because the problems and the challenges and the stigmas attached to it come from the fact that we have this, one, it's incredibly expensive, and the system is built in such a way that not everybody gets access to it immediately, and in fact, the people who need it most may not get access to it. And so that means we've still got work to do, but science is doing its job, and some patients are getting access. So that's
Right.
great news.
Yeah, and it's not perfect for everyone, and obviously there is debate about insurance companies don't want to pay for it. It's expensive. At the same time, those rates, I don't care how we get there. The fact that we're getting there is great. Also, we saw so many people have a slump and inactivity during COVID and during the last few years that seeing people come back around is great news. I just think that's great.
Well, and another one of our favorite topics, or at least my favorite topic, is menopause.
I'm here for it.
And women's health, not just menopause, but I feel like menopause is having a bit of a glow up, even though it's not a very glowing thing.
That happens when Halle Berry gets involved, things get pretty.
It's true. And there's great attention. There's the movie. I mean, we reported a number of things, and we're just coming off of this week. There was another women's health conference at the White House. Lots of important people there. Maven Clinic was there. Lisa Sunan from the AHA was there. Great to see, one, the Biden administration paying attention, the recent efforts and work around women in the workplace around menopause and the importance of that. And, we had a great HIM SoCal meeting last week, and there was a lot of discussion on this, the aging, the silver tsunami, if you will, but also this aging perfect storm. So I've been thinking about that lately in terms of both, the healthcare providers, the clinicians are aging. You've got aging nurses and physicians, and they're aging out faster than they're coming in. And then, of course, they're taking care of an aging population. And so that coupled with this focus around, kind of the acceptance of menopause, what that means and what it means for women in the workplace, super important. And it's just good to see that the attention is being placed on such an important matter.
Yes. And you see a lot of workforces and workplaces that are investing in it. I saw, McKinsey is bringing people in, the Ada Rose people went in, talked about women and general health. And also Lululemon has been doing things where women can call in and get support with advice about menopause. So
Yeah,
I think it's a big deal that people are more aware of what's going on. So it's not just,
it's just, we're getting older as a population, we're living longer, and this understanding and acceptance of how we make, whether it's, make that possible and make it comfortable and make it good, and of course, not enough focus, but there's focus on women of childbearing age and how to help them in the workplace as we go through menopause. And certainly, there's, it should be for men too. I mean, the ageism that's in our country is bad, and how we kind of address that both in the workplace, and that's a lot of, think about nurses, men, women, on their feet for 16, 20 hours a day. And it's an aging workforce, and we have all of this technology. I mean, the people that we spoke to this week, if you think of the transportation that happens in a health system where, you're bringing, drugs from one place to another, and this innovation around the Moxie robot and what Moxie can do to help, we're always talking about, increasing our number of footsteps, but, decreasing the number of footsteps to make this a more manageable job. But then in addition, virtual nursing and the capabilities to have, and, Joyce Lito from Kaiser had talked about it, having more experienced nurses being able to be on the floor and having access to their knowledge and experience and not losing that because they're aging out of the workforce and because they're aging out of a particularly physically tasking job, and so there's a lot of hope and a lot of innovation around how to do that and how to manage and make multi-generational workforces, a reality, particularly in healthcare where it's so important.
Right. And I think it's also, if you want to learn more about this, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce has some really interesting data that we can share about women in the workforce and rates. Actually, fewer women are in the workforce now than they were in 2020. It's important for us to educate ourselves and to have those conversations. Speaking of the workforce, I feel like one of our good things this year has to be something that I care deeply about, and it's the Lorna Breen Act. So we should talk a little bit about the success that has happened with credentialing and with licensure. We've spoken about this before, but it has to be in our recap, right? People got together after a tragedy and passed a law, and there have been advocates and ambassadors. I'm an ambassador talking about how important it is to reduce questions about people's mental health history, and also to make sure we can have honest conversations in the workforce without it damaging your career. And I know there are people who will be listening into this who have experienced like fear and haven't wanted to be honest about things that are going on with them for mental health or with their family. So I think it's so important that they're doing this work. The AMA has also released a lot of information about it. So I think everyone should check it out and contact their lawmakers. Over 15,000 people have already. And it's nice to see people, a bipartisan issue where people accept that mental health needs to be better.
Yeah. No, and that's, I think that, again, in terms of positive regulatory movement and making sure that, stays where it is and that we, get those protections in place for our clinical workforce is so important. So, I think the work that you do at the Sharp Index and how you bring that conversation to the forefront for people is so important.
These conversations about mental health and about hope and about the potential that people have to create change, they're really important to have. Let's talk about the last thing.
What is the last thing?
What's our last thing? Health.
Oh, well, the health acquisition. I don't know that was new news. I think it is interesting to see, and congratulations to them and their team. And, I think it means it's not going anywhere, right? It's certainly, they've got a private equity company that's got investments in that space. But I think in general, the conference business is back. So of course that to us is a good thing. I don't know if everybody believes it's a good thing, but for us, for sure.
They missed us, I'm pretty sure. So it's a good thing for all.
The value and the importance of in-person connections, is still there. And in fact, if anything, it's more needed, with so many, teams being virtual, the ability to come together and be at these meetings, whether they're, 3,000, 30,000 or 300, there is value to be gained from being in person and the connections and the networking that happens. In speaking with Rob Seabaugh again today, he talked about, health impact is a good thing, and bringing together people, like-minded people from different parts of the organization to tackle these problems is important. And so, it's a good thing we're still here.
Yes, it is a good thing. I think it's a good thing. We're still here. We're still going for it. Some of our predictions and our good things from earlier in the year, like employers taking leadership with employee health, they're coming through. And that is going to be an ongoing good thing for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that there's a lot of excitement around the power of digital health, the employers getting engaged around that, what they can do with their employees to improve health using some of these tools. So that is another good thing. And it's been great. I mean, I think, thank you, Janae, and thank you to all of our listeners. Being able to connect with people throughout the year through the podcast, through Health Impact Live, and of course at our in-person events, it's been amazing. And I think the work that's being done, particularly by women, I every
Like
day
Chairman
now.
Matthews.
Every day now, I am getting proposals from female founders and female CEOs to be on the show, and literally nothing could make me happier. I mean, to see that level of innovation, to see the creativity, to see the work being done, and the incredible amount of impact these companies are having on healthcare and innovation and technology implementation within healthcare, particularly with a focus on patients, has been super.
Yes. So those are good things. I hope everybody likes and subscribes and shares it with roughly everyone they know.
Oh, wait, I have one more breaking news.
You have another
good
one.
things.
All right.
I have one more breaking news, good things, and I hope I don't
Postscript.
get in trouble for sharing it already. But as we've mentioned before on the show, Road Recovery is going to be our charity partner at Health Impact in January, January 22nd and 23rd. And they have an incredibly impressive board. They are a music foundation that helps teenagers, with mental health and addiction problems through music. And Simon Kirk, who is the drummer of Bad Company and founder of Free, is going to be joining us and them for a special performance on January 22nd. So we are not only going to have a whole lot of rock stars, but we're actually going to have a real rock star.
Yes, that's exciting. Like we'll have the classic rock. I left out the good thing about Paris Hilton. I think the Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act is good news. Like speaking of stars, like I think January is going to be fantastic. We're going to have lots of people there who've done great work in music, great work in lots of stuff. And they're also pretty cool people.
Always. We always have the cool kids, but maybe we can get Paris in June. Or maybe we can just go to Paris in June.
Both. I'm sure she's down.
Well, that is a good thing. It is good to see celebrities do good work with their influence, and however they became celebrities, that's up to them. But to do it and to help people is a good thing. So, thank you, Janae. For those of you listening, my puppy has been in the frame. He is a good thing. His name is Bear. He has joined us this year too. Yes. But he is particularly active.
My mug from Calamity Wear is a good thing, and my marzipan Red Bush tea is a good thing. It's for the holidays.
So. Absolutely. Well, I am wishing everyone the happiest of holidays and a wonderful new year. And we look forward to seeing you all in December or in January at Health Impact in New York City.
All right. Thank you so much, Megan. We'll see you soon.